Hey guys, it's Ashley with 3R Sales and Service. Today we're taking a look at a 20-foot enclosed trailer system that features two 8-gallon hot water pressure washers and is pretty much set up as a truck washing system, but can also be used for commercial cleaning, even like high volume residential cleaning, have multiple people cleaning at the same time, or if you're doing any type of storefronts, restaurants, all of that kind of stuff. This is definitely set up for some heavy duty and quick cleaning and degreasing. So the trailer itself is 8.5 by 20 with a 10,000 pound weight rating. It has a 525-gallon water tank inside, which we'll get to here in a second. But when we have those big 525 tanks, we always like to put a 2-inch tank drain on there so that it can empty quickly if you don't want to haul the water with you. So that tank drain you can kind of see is right on the outside of the trailer. We make it available on the outside so that you can fill buckets, you can wash your hands, you can do anything you need to do with the water from the outside of the trailer. The valve to open and close it is just from the rear side of the trailer. So on the inside, we have two of the Hydrotech 8-gallon hot water pressure washers. We'll step on in here and give you a better look at everything. So as soon as you step in, you can see that we've got the protective flooring down in here. This is kind of like a rubberized poly floor coating that goes all the way up and down the trailer. We completely seal it in, and then we use aluminum trim to make sure it stays in place and there's no trip hazards. As you climb on in, you can see our two hot water units here. We have them both, the burners are ventilated through the roof, and then we have the exhausts ventilated through the floor, just to make sure we get as much hot air out of here as possible, and of course keeping any of the contaminated exhausts air out of here as well. You want all nice fresh air going into these engines and into these burners to make sure that they're running efficiently and properly. We have Honda GX 690 engines on here. They have electric start. They've also got hour meters, so very easy to keep track of maintenance. And then we've got 12-volt burner systems on these as well, which means the burner is just powered by the battery that's charged by the engine. So very simple, efficient systems. They are gas engine and diesel fired. We have big T-series general pumps on here. So these are nice heavy-duty, high-volume pumps. They're belt-driven, they run at a lower RPM than some of the other like direct drive type washers do. We put bleeder valves on these pumps, as you can see down here. What this does is allow us to drain any of the, well, not drain, but get any of the air out of the water line between the water tank and the pump. So when you empty your tank, you're always going to get air in that inlet water line. If you start your pump with air in the line, it's very difficult for it to prime properly. So what we do is we get the air out of the line, it primes the pump, and it creates it basically eliminates any issues for cavitation or pump damage, and you won't damage any pump seals. So small add-on, but makes a huge difference. We have cool bypass systems on both of our pressure washers as well. What those do is allow you to cycle water from the pump back to the water tank whenever you are not pulling the trigger on the pressure washer, but the engine is still running. So it just kind of cycles and keeps that pump nice, cool, and fresh. Over here you can see our 525 water tank. Up on top of the tank, we've got an additional filter. So it's filtering the water before it goes into the tank, keeping sediment and all kinds of stuff out of there, and then preventing your filters that are down below before they go to each pressure washer from, getting a bunch of debris in them quickly. So we never know what water source you're coming from. If you're pulling from bigger sources like lakes or something that's more contaminated, we've got different types of filter systems. This is assuming you're pulling from a spigot or a building or something along those lines. These are both our cool bypass lines, one for each pressure washer. Everything stays separate for each unit. I'll have you move back a little bit here and we'll go over what's along the wall. So we've just got a locking toolbox, keep all those miscellaneous parts kind of in check, easy to access right at the door here. Along the wall, we have our 2-step gun system. So there's one for each pressure washer, and then we'll go over how that connects into the system when we get back to the hose reels. But this is a 100-foot section of high pressure hose with two 100-foot chemical hoses all kind of tied up into this wrap here, so that as you're pooling your 2-step solutions, you're basically getting instant step 1, instant, step 2, and then you can instantly rinse. So that's what this gun does here. It gives you the ability to use this. Sorry, there's a bug inside here. It's driving me crazy. I'll take this off here without swiping Abby with it. You can switch between your solutions here. So we use different zip ties to kind of designate which solution is what, but you can pull step 1, pull your step 2, and then you can just turn this completely off and rinse instantly. So if you miss part of the truck, you need to go back and hit a wheel real quick, it just gives you capability to do that very efficiently. So we'll pause for a second here, we'll go around back, and we'll take a look at everything else. Okay, so from the rear of the trailer, you can get a better look at the hose reels we have here. So these are 3 of the 18-inch Titan hose reels. The pressure washer reels have stainless manifolds, making them more corrosion resistant. We do have the electric rewind on all 3 of these. So as soon as you press this button, it'll start automatically reeling your reeling your hose in for you. They've got the premium Titan hose guides on there, which makes it easy to pull your hoses at a 90-degree angle. So the reason we have hoses here and then our separate 2-step system is so that you can use this as a standard pressure wash assembly. So if you just want to do a 1-step cleaning, you don't have to have the 2-step gun assembly out there. It's a little bit lighter and more flexible. Or if you needed to do surface cleaning, house washing, building cleaning, dumpster pads, gas stations, all of this would just be used with this hose reel system, which is a little bit quicker to get in and out and move forward when you don't have to have 2 solutions switching back and forth simultaneously. So at the top we have 200 feet of the 3/8 hose for our pressure washer number 1. Pressure washer number 2 has the same, and then down below we've got 200 feet of the 3/4 inch Flexzilla hose, which is the garden hose that is feeding into that 525-gallon tank. We do use the 1-inch manifold hose reels when we're filling these tanks because it will fill much, much faster when it doesn't have the restriction of the 1/2-inch pipe going through the hose reel. We also add in these locking connectors to kind of keep everything nice and secure, makes it look neat and professional whenever you're pulling up to the job. And we have high pressure ball valves on here so that you can switch between accessories if you want to. Surface cleaners, any other attachments that have a trigger gun on there, you can shut off your high pressure flow very quickly with those. And if you are in a situation where you needed to connect your 2-step system, you can even connect your 2-step system from there. But how we have it set up so that it's a little bit easier and more functional is on the side of the hose reels. So on the side of the reels here, actually, I'm going to switch back over. On the side of the reels, we have an open quick connect. So the way that you see these ball valves set up right now are for you to just use your standard hose assembly that's on the reel. Whenever you flip this one and then flip this one and connect your 2-step hose assembly here, you're going to connect the high pressure part of the 2-step assembly, and then you're going to drop in the hoses for your 2-step solutions back into the tanks here. We've got 3 55-gallon soak tanks. And then that allows you to use pressure washer number 1 or pressure washer number 2 with either of those setups. So very quick and easy to switch between 2. You can even do it in the middle of a job. If you want to do that, just shut down your pressure washer real quick, make sure everything is safe, pressure is relieved, and switch over those components. On the hose reels right now, assuming you're using this high pressure hose, we have standard soap injectors so that you can pull any solution all the way up to a 20% draw. They are bleach or acid rated injectors, so they've got the ceramic ball in there, making them more corrosion resistant. And then this knob here is how you adjust those for whichever ratio you want to be able to draw through there, so that you can put your concentrate into a tank and dilute it just at the injector. Moving behind it a little bit, like I mentioned before, we have 3 55-gallon soap tanks. This allows them to have their step 1, step 2 solutions and another truck wash or degreaser if they use it frequently. All kinds of reasons to use different types of degreasers depending on the equipment that you're washing. This particular system is going down to clean a towing fleet and any other vehicles that they have. So they can get into all kinds of different degreasing solutions or situations down there. We do have an adapter down here as well. It's a little bit more difficult to see. The customer requested to have an additional hookup here so we can actually feed the tank to other types of equipment that they have. If they have another pressure washer they need, or just another reason to have a garden hose hookup for something else, there's just a small garden hose attachment here that they can use at any time. This is our second two-step gun and wand assembly, exactly as the one that was up front, just for the second pressure washer assembly. So you've got everything you need. We use two different dip tube covers just to designate which solution or which hose is supposed to go into which solution. So other than that, we've got additional hooks on the walls for the other gun wand assemblies for the standard use. The walls have been painted inside the trailer, just brightening it up, make it easier to keep clean or wipe off the walls if you need to. We use like a gloss white color, so very easy to touch up on your own if you had to as well. We fabricate all of the brackets that are holding the tanks in place. There's not really one good solution to just put a whole bunch of tanks randomly in back of trailers, so we kind of customize depending on the trailer, the amount of tanks, and all of those things. So this particular setup, it's just fantastic for so many different uses, especially for truck washing, but also for commercial cleaning and all kinds of applications. But if you have any questions on this particular package, it will be on our website. It's 3rpressurewashers.com, or feel free to give us a call if there's something you like and you want to customize it. We can work with different types of trailers. We can put this type of system inside a truck. So we're pretty flexible as far as what your needs are and what we can do. All right, thanks.